What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and in this video we are back once again to talk about the Predator's path, 1 of 3, I think 2 of 3. This time we are going to talk about the champions and the events that we are going to have this weekend in case you want to participate on this Predator's path. I was not thinking about doing it, but when I saw the champions you can summon for, well, then I changed my mind, because there are some very interesting champions on this list of the progressive chance that we are going to have starting off tomorrow. We also have boost drops for the Dungeon Divers part, where you can obtain additional Savage and speed gear. So we are going to break down all the information that you need to know in order for you to participate in this event, and through a combination of energy and summons, being able to acquire the soul for Predator's Path event. We are going to have tomorrow morning the calculations for how many points you need, which is going to be the best path. But for now, let's talk about which champions will be available, and make sure you check out the video tomorrow when we'll do the path and do some summons for it as well. Okay, so as always, if you guys like the information on these videos, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Raid Challenges content, and make sure you smash that like button like a boss, like the Predator. Okay, so like I said, you need to do summons and you need to do Dungeon Divers, and right now, as you guys can see, we have Gear Hunters event going on, but it's going to end exactly when the Predator's Path is going to start, so unfortunately you cannot double dip. Where you can double dip is on the Fire Knight event, but the rewards are really trash, so yeah, it's not great. Unfortunately, it's not great. Once again, you can farm for Savage gear, but if you don't need Savage gear, well, it's not going to be super worth it. You also have this Primal Quartz here. The Primal Quartz, absolutely nice to have, but this is a tournament, so yeah, people are going to compete for this for sure. But hopefully you did not start this yet, because again, you want to farm tomorrow when we have the other event going on at the same time. Let's take a look at what's going on Reddit. So we have all the information here. I have news about upcoming events. On Thursday, December 4th, we're going to have a 3x for Savage gear from the Fire Knight Castle, where you can get those Primal Quartz. And then on Saturday, December 6th, we are going to have a 3x on speed from Dragon's Lair. For Dragon's Lair, remember that certain characters can solo the dragon, like for example Shredder, Predator, they can solo the dragon, so you can train your champions at the same time as you are farming dragon. And this is important because we also have going on in the game right now, and for at least 2 more days we have a champion training tournament event. So you can train your champions while you are doing the dungeons, while you are doing the hero's path, all at the same time. So even if you cannot double dip with the Dungeon Divers, you can definitely double dip with the training event, so keep that in mind. Okay, so let's talk about the progressive characters that are available for us. So we are going to have on Friday, December the 5th, we are planning to launch a progressive chance event. We are going to have the chance 15x minimum of summoning the champions of your dreams from Ancient Shards, Primal Shards, Sacred Shards, and Void Shards. During the Hero's Path event, the best value for dollar is going to be your Void Shards and your Primal Shards. Again, if you buy Shards, it's better for you to buy Void Shards and Primal Shards, complete this event. If you are free to play, you have to use your Ancients and your Sacreds, and that's pretty much it. Let's talk about the champions. So we have the Predator, we have Arashi Riptide, we have Granite DuArktik, Knave of Hearts, Alure Crimson Horn. Then on the Voids we have King Narcissus, we have Bellatar Mage Slayer, and finally we have Emic Trunk Heart. I have half of these champions, so I can give you a deep dive on each of them, and some of them I don't have, but I have faced them in arena, so I know how they can be annoying. And then the epic champions, we have 3 pieces for Mikage, and this is why I'm summoning, it's because of this girl right here, and Dahlia. And then for the Voids we have Man-Eater and Yuzan, that we're going to talk about after we cover the legendaries. So let's start off with the Predator. El Hades gives a 3.5 for Predator. I do not agree with this. I think Predator is much better because Predator can solo dungeons. For example, Dragon Ice Golem, Predator can easily solo these dungeons, and because of that, he needs to have additional value. Like, there is no way that Predator is a 3.5 on Ice Golem or Dragon, because he can dodge so much that he solos the boss. You just have to equip him with the right gear, and he's going to be able to cover that for you. So you can complete training events and dungeon divers at the same time, and this is going to give huge value to your champion. So if you have anytime a champion like this, he's going to be amazing. Amazing. And Predator is one of that. Predator is also very solid in Arena, and he's a one-time exclusive champion. If you don't get him now, you might not get him ever. And the only thing that is bad for him is the affinity. But you can play around with affinities. Instead of doing Ice Golem 3, you do Ice Golem 7 or something like this, right? Just play around with affinities. You want to prioritize magic type enemies, and it's going to be great. Not only is going to dodge everything, he's also going to have weak hits being placed against him. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter much. Okay, so once again, Predator, absolutely great. I would go for him if you have the chance and if you care about Predator. Let's move on to the next champion, which is Arashi the Riptide. This guy is a damage dealer from the Shadow King. Because we had Leonardo recently, like any other type of damage dealer will look bad compared to Leonardo. This guy ignores Sun Skin. This guy can do some additional damage if he kills enemies. He ignores shield and strength, but he is not. He's just another damage dealer. He's not providing any kind of utility, and he does not have survivability like Predator. So he's just that. He's just a damage dealer. So skip. Let's move on and talk about DuArktik. This guy is absolutely amazing. I have him on my account. I did the fusion. I don't have a soul for him, but he's great. The only problem with this guy is the affinities. It's the affinities. So I use him with Affinity Breaker set, making sure that he does not do any weak hits against the enemies. And because of that, he brings a lot of value for Hydra. He's absolutely insane for Hydra. But any kind of dungeons is going to be great. And in kinds of PvP, he's also great in PvP as well. He does a lot of damage in PvP. And he also applies block debuffs. Block buffs. The shatter buff can also be very useful in PvP, and he also applies defense down, which is also great in PvP. So yeah, this guy has huge value for PvP, even that is not very common for you to see this guy. He's definitely very solid. The main points for him is that, once again, decreases the defense, block buffs, but he also increases your accuracy, he attacks all enemies. Then he also gives a shatter buff and additional crit damage. So yeah, this guy, huge value everywhere. Again, the main problem for him is the affinity. Apart from the affinity problem, he is very good. And he can be used everywhere. He's very solid. Again, Doom Tower, Cursed City, Hydra, all those places is going to be massive. Even for Chimera, it can be useful because he gives so many buffs and debuffs. He is great. Let's move on to the next one. DuArktik, definitely one of the best choices here. This one is Knave of Hearts, and Knave of Hearts is famous because he helps you to kill emus, because he applies block buffs, but heal block, but he's not that great. He's okay champion for PvP, he does some stuff in other game modes as well, but he's very mid. He's mid beyond mid. Apart from the heal block situation, is not famous for much more than that. So yeah, he's okay for PvP, he's okay for dungeons, nothing special. He's definitely not one of your priorities. You should not be summoning for him unless you are trying to collect all champions from the Alice event. Let's move on to the next one, Tagoar Crimson Horn. This guy is very annoying. He's pretty decent. He's not amazing, but he's pretty decent. And this is because he's going to give block damage for 2 turns for your entire team. And if you have him with a protection set, you cannot remove the buffs. So it becomes very hard for you to kill the enemies. He also heals his own team for a bunch. Very solid healer. And he also removes buffs from the enemies. So this guy provides a lot of utility, but mostly for PvP and like Doomlord and this type of dungeons where we require this block damage very damage up front. So yeah, he's pretty solid, good for PvP, good for some PvE situations, but not like super crazy by any means. He is definitely, you'll notice, you'll figure out this guy, you'll start to see him. Whenever you start to see this guy, you'll start to remember his face, because he's definitely very, very annoying to deal with. Let's move on to the next one. We have the Void Champions. We have King Narcissus. This guy does very, very big damage in Arena, and that's pretty much it. He's very strong with his waifu. If he kills an enemy, he takes like additional turns, and he also ignores shield and block damage and all those kind of things. But again, you need to pair him up with his waifu, and beyond that, he's not providing any kind of utility. And in terms of survivability, he's not that great on his own. Like, he takes less damage, but it's not like Predator, right? Predator, you can use him in dungeons. This guy takes less damage from enemies, but is not useful for dungeons. And because of that, he has to be at a lower level compared to everyone else. So yeah, you can see from the reviews, he's not that great in any kind of dungeons. So low value outside of PvP, where he's absolutely amazing. Especially if you have him with his waifu, the Queen Ancora. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We have the Belar Mage Slayer. He's called Mage Slayer, but he's actually a support character, which is lol. So this guy is going to increase attack of your team, increase the defense, also heals up your team, also fills the speed bar. So he does a lot of stuff for a support champion, but that's it. Like, he also gives a barrier, but the barrier is not like one of the biggest barriers ever. So the barrier is based on his own max HP, but it's only like 20%, so it's gonna be a very small barrier. Block debuffs, that's nice, but in some situations the block debuffs can be a little bit annoying. He revives everyone, so he does everything for a support character. But you might have other champions that do exactly the same, so yeah. They call him the Mage Slayer, but he's not slaying anyone. He's good, don't get me wrong, he's good, he does a lot of stuff, but he's not someone that makes you go like, wow, this guy is amazing. It's not the case. So once again, comparing him to like Freya, he is not as good as her. So the barrier is small, the buffs are not as good, the mechanics are also not as good as well. So yeah, he's decent, he's definitely above average, but not someone that you'd prioritize unless you want him for faction wars. If you want him for faction wars, okay, that makes sense, but if it's not the case, then he's okay, but not priority. Okay, Emic Trunkheart, I have this guy, he's pretty solid. He's going to apply Unkillable for your entire team, and is also going to reduce the cooldowns of your abilities by 1. Not the most amazing thing ever. He also applies shield or barrier to your champions, 30% of this one. So compared to the other one was 20%, this one is 30%. So the shield a lot better. The cooldowns are great. He has a taunt, he has additional barrier for himself. So yeah, he's pretty solid. I have not used him yet because I don't have books, but he's definitely someone I have my eyes on and I want to build in the future, because yeah, Unkillable is great. He's absolutely great, and for sure you're gonna get some value out of this guy in many places, especially on the new game mode, the Grim Forest or something. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The next one is the two epic champions, Man-Eater. Man-Eater was very good in the past. You could make an Unkillable team for the Demon Lord, but I would not worry about this now. There are so many other ways to beat the Demon Lord, whether it is with more damage, whether it is with debuffs, that going for this unkillable team is like, okay, whatever. He's providing very low value in arena, in dungeons is okay, but it's nothing too crazy. I would definitely not prioritize this guy for now. And finally, we have Yuzan from the Skinwalkers. He's pretty solid, he provides a lot of healing, he provides a lot of damage. The damage is decent, but not like insane. But if you need a healer for the Skinwalkers, he's definitely someone you should take into consideration. I think he's a champion that heals with all of his abilities, right? Heals with the passive, heals with the A2 and A3 as well. He just doesn't heals with the basic, or no, he even heals with the basics. So heals with every ability. It's not by a lot, but if you make him very fast, he is going to do stuff for sure. Okay, so those are all the champions that we have for this progressive chance event. Let's take a look and now we rate these characters. So because Predator can solo dungeons and because he's so unique, you're gonna prioritize him, right? If you didn't buy the battle pass, this is one of the few chances that you're gonna have to obtain this guy, and that's pretty much it. The second champion I would prioritize is the DuArktik. He does a lot of stuff, a lot of debuffs, a lot of buffs. He does damage in PvP. He does some damage in PvE as well, but the best part is increasing the damage of everyone else. So if you have Predator already and you don't have DuArktik, go for DuArktik. He's pretty decent. Arashi, I would not summon for this guy. Knave of Hearts, I would not summon for this guy. Asgore Crimson Morn is decent, but is nowhere near as important as DuArktik, or even comparing to DuArktik. DuArktik is much better. Okay, White King Naris, if you love PvP, he's great. If you don't love PvP, he's just okay. He's not going to give you a lot of value elsewhere. The Bellstar Mage is pretty solid. He does a lot of stuff, but it's not unique stuff. It's not unique stuff, so he has to be behind the DuArktik by a decent amount. So yeah. And finally, we have DuArktik. Once again, unkillable plus reducing the cooldowns. Reducing cooldowns is always great. So I would put him a little bit above the Beltar Mage Slayer, but nowhere near DuArktik. I think this is going to be a solid one. So focus on Predator, then after that Granny DuArktik, and if you go for the Voids, go for DuArktik or Beltar the Mage Slayer. Unless you have the Ancora Queen, right? If you have the Ancora Queen, then you might want to consider King Narcissus instead. And in terms of the epics, if you want the Makage Fusion, these are your champions, and these other two I would ignore. I don't think they are interesting by any means, unless you need this guy for the faction wars, or this guy for faction wars as well. It's up to you to decide if it's going to be worth or not, but yeah. These are the summons that we're going to have for this progressive chance event on the Hero's Path for the Predator. You guys let me know in the comments below how excited are you for these champions and for the Predator, if you have him already or not, if you're going for his soul or not. And that's going to be the video, guys, so I hope you guys enjoy it. If you did, make sure you smash that like button like a boss. And as always, if you like the information on these videos, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Rachel Legends content, and I'll catch you guys later.